What is going on, everybody? It is episode 942 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Happy Friday. And hello to anyone who might be joining us at my recommendation from Timcast IRL last night. It was a really fun episode. We had George Santos, and I don't know if this changes anyone's mind, but in case you needed the official endorsement from George Santos, he has endorsed my Cast Brew flavor. Mary's Ghost Blend is now up on castbrew.com if you haven't gotten it already. So yeah, that really is gonna boost the sales.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Feels like this week kind of just blew past.
Did it?
Does it feel that way for you? I don't know.
No.
It felt really fast to me.
That happens some weeks. This week was not that for me. This
Oh.
week was one of those weeks that felt exactly as long as it was.
Okay, never mind then.
Not longer than normal, but exactly as long as it was.
That was a fun time. You know, I have to hand it to George Santos.
So did you say like embezzle your
He's full
thirst?
of energy. He's full of charisma. I understand why he has such a dedicated fan base.
Okay.
But he was trying to teach Tim how to make money on Cameo, and Tim actually did make a Cameo account. I don't know if he's planning on, fulfilling any requests, but in case any of you were interested, he did start a Cameo account.
So what would it be like? He's like, "Welcome to Civil War."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, you should do a cameo.
I don't think I would get many hits on Cameo, and besides that,
It would just be people like asking you to say mean things to
know,
them.
that would be weird. Like, it would just be too, the sexual undertones of the prompts would be too much, and it would just, I would feel like a clown. And, there are a lot of reasons why I'm not going to make a Cameo. It's too OnlyFans adjacent, I feel.
I mean,
for
women specifically. I mean, I don't think so.
Not for someone like Tim, but if I started a Cameo, it'd just be like,
because of the visual aspect of it.
I don't know what it is. I just think that platform either attracts people looking for like a birthday gift for somebody, or just the weirdest people imaginable.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be starting a Cameo anytime soon. I also learned that Tim is implementing something that we've joked about for a long time. They're just going to be recording the pre-show discussions, like pre-IRL.
Oh, like what? Like us talking
for
here.
like an hour.
I mean, that would just get us banned, and
that's the problem. I don't know how he thinks that's going to work, because I can tell you.
But it's recorded, not live.
No, it's live. It's live to the Discord, he said. I assume that everybody at the table is going to be aware of the fact that they're being
I hope so.
recorded and that they're being listened in on. But the premise is, there's so much lively banter before the show starts. Why don't we share it with people? And then our hesitance about it was, first of all, of course, getting banned, but also it might just ruin the organic discussion
feel of it, yeah,
that we have when we know that nobody is listening. So
you would have to do it where
we'll
it's like
see.
they're mounted cameras rather than somebody filming, because if there's somebody filming, you behave differently.
Well, it's not going to be on camera from what I heard Tim say.
Oh,
it's
just
gonna
audio.
Be just audio.
I mean,
shared
even then,
with the Discord
even
members.
then, like if pulling the mic towards you to talk while doing it will change the way you talk.
Of course, yeah. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see how that goes for them. Lots of changes coming in the way of IRL.
Nothing would happen from me, because I'm usually pretty like I just kind of sit there during IRL pre-show. Like I don't
usually get into much bants with people, but
yeah,
George Santos was definitely a fun guest. He has a lot of stories from prison. He was
like what? Can you give me an example of one?
Well, for close to half of his sentence, he said that he was in solitary, which is brutal. Yeah. He said that he read 26 books during his sentence as well, which is impressive.
How long was he there?
It's 84 days, and he wrote a book. He wrote a book on top of reading all those books, and the book title is 84 Days, which he actually came up with before he even knew that Kamala named her book, what was it, 107
106
days?
107? Yeah.
Forget what it was on the campaign trail. So, yeah, and on top of that, he was also writing his column for some, I forget which outlet, but it was
He's
in
like smuggling it out.
Long Island. He was publishing a column as well. So
Well, my goodness.
he's a prolific writer.
He gave you the endorsement on the coffee. He's like, embezzle your thirst, get some cast brew.
Yeah, and I also have to hand it to him. He admitted that he was in the wrong and that he's remorseful for his actions, and he hurt a lot of people, and he's trying to grow from it, and he does not have a career in politics going forward.
I mean, yeah, that makes
According to
perfect
him,
sense.
he's not going to go back into politics.
All right, guys, with that intro that was a heck of an intro. Hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel, perhaps, if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share this episode out with everybody in your life that you both love and hate. The best way that you can help this channel grow, and we do always need your help to help this channel out, is to share the content out with everybody. Get some discussions going about everything that we're discussing. We have some interesting things to talk about today. I also want to give you an update that this weekend, if you are listening to this right now, perhaps on a Friday evening, if you are one of the audio listeners of this podcast, I will be putting out a PCC weekend update at 5 p.m. on Saturday. It's encompassing all of the segments that I recorded on my own throughout the week, which we do put out, but they don't make it onto the audio versions of the podcast. I want to give the audio platform listeners a chance to listen to me ramble as well, I suppose. If that's what you're into, maybe that's what you're into.
Guys, we currently have 1,200 ratings on Spotify. That's because I was harassing all of you to give us ratings on Spotify until we got over 1,000 recently. But my new goal for us is for us to get to 1,500.
Let's
and
go.
We're just going to continue from there. But I'm going to continue harassing you about giving us ratings on Spotify until we reach 1.5K.
Perfect. And I'm going to be giving you extra content. The least you can do is go and give us a rating and a review. So what are we getting into today? Well, there are conflicting stories coming out about goings on at the Disney parks. Some people are saying that Disney is removing the villains from the parks only to be seen during Halloween season. There are conflicting reports that say no, that is not true. They say that the villains do cycle throughout the year, but they will not be getting rid of them. You know, is it too scary for the kids these days?
Yeah, they're soft. These Gen Alphas are soft. Well, we have a 20 from Jose Quintana. Happy Friday, Optical Overlord and Ghost Empress. Empress, I had my first 2 cups of your Ghost blend during the overnight and enjoyed it thoroughly. Are there plans to make this official blend of the Gongo? Long live PCC.
Well, we'll be shipping all of the expired coffee to the Gongo.
We'll just rain it down on the land.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the Gonganese are actually helping harvest the coffee beans for my flavor.
Perfect. So we've got that. We are also going to talk about a K-pop star named Park Bom, who is suing.
His actual name, by the way,
Park Bom, suing for like infinite money. Like literally, if they win this lawsuit, all the money, your money, my money, their money. If they win this lawsuit, they will be the richest person in the history of the universe. So we're going to talk about it. It is very funny and interesting.
And sad.
Sad and funny at the same time.
Yeah, it's all of those things wrapped into one.
So we've got that. And we've got this absolutely horrific story about a woman named Kira Cousins who has been exposed as faking an entire pregnancy all the way up to and then giving fake birth with a fake baby. And she has admitted it.
I just know Netflix is like, ooh,
They're
let's
like,
go.
the money is going to be so good on this one.
Sign the contract.
They're like, we got the fake babies in the back anyways for production use. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
We got this. That story is crazy. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you are ready, we can go. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go for it.
So, of course, all of you know, if you watch the show, that on any given day of the year, there is, of course, a women's summit happening near you. The current Women's Summit is Fortune magazine's most powerful women's summit, and they invited many public figures, entrepreneurs. Selena Gomez is one of them because she has her own cosmetics line called Rare Beauty, and she was invited on one of these panels to speak as a founder. And one of the remarks that she made is going viral because she claimed that Rare Beauty does not use models to advertise their products. And it's because she wants them to feel relatable to the consumer.
That's why everything is so bad in the world right now.
So, I mean, this is obviously a scourge upon marketing in general and creative direction in general. It's not just Selena Gomez, but she is a symptom of this larger problem. But let's hear what she had to say.
I don't think our conversation will change. If anything, we will double down on what we mean and how we don't use models. We use people that have felt, you know, that they can be your best friend. I want something real. I think
it's called rare beauty. Like your
Kinda
best,
goes against
I guess
the
your best friend, a best friend can be rare, but not in a model sense.
anything. And I'd like to mention so many brands have been doing this. So it's not just us. I'm so grateful to see that there's incredible brands out there doing the same thing in their way. And it makes me really proud.
Okay.
Her voice just grates my ears. I cannot stand listening to her talk, regardless of what she's saying. And you know, her fans are going to say that it's lupus. I don't know what it is. It might be her veneers. It might be all of the Botox preventing her from speaking properly. But anyway, the substance of what she's saying is like, we want our models to be relatable so that people don't feel threatened by beautiful models. You know, they can feel like these products are like for them because they're ugly and mediocre. So, I mean, the obvious problem with what she's saying is that today, you know, we feel threatened by beauty standards, therefore we have to abolish them. The problem underneath that, though, is that Selena Gomez is a hypocrite for multiple reasons. First off, Rare Beauty does hire models, professional models who are signed to modeling agencies, and you will find that if you go to their website and find out who is advertising these products. It is, in fact, signed models on the website. However, they're just not her definition of model beauty. They're not, you know, smoldering Instagram baddies. They're more average looking consumer product commercial models.
Target models.
She's basically calling all of the models on her brand's website mid, unintentionally. One of them even responded to this video and said, well, this is awkward, because she's getting a backhanded compliment, basically an insult from the founder of the company. So she's a liar, first off, but secondly, it's just so hypocritical for Selena Gomez to be championing natural beauty and relatability when she herself doesn't practice what she preaches. She's gotten insane amounts of cosmetic work done to the point where she looks unrecognizable from her former self. She clearly feels threatened by women who she perceives to be more beautiful than her, hence what she said here. But this is a recent still of Selena Gomez from her music video In the Dark. She looks alien. This is not the Selena Gomez that we once knew and loved. She is starting to look like, you know, an aging Asian woman. Like, I don't know who this is. She looks like Amelia Perez. Yeah. And, you know, it's just ironic for her, of all people, to be talking about, you know, relatability and, you know, lowering the beauty standard when she's clearly chasing a beauty standard that that she finds to be the top tier of beauty.
Well, this is nothing new, though. Like, the lie of beauty relatability has been going on for a very long time, and the hypocrisy of it is nothing new, at least not from what I've seen, you know, from the outside looking in. And, you know, I've always just kind of assumed that it's one of those things where you cater to two sides of the female psyche with these things. You can cater to the side of wanting to make them look at something that they want to then emulate, or you can cater to the emotional side that says, you know, I relate to this person, and that works. I don't know how this is it more egregious because it's a beauty brand as opposed to something showing up at like a Target?
What do you mean?
Like, look, like they've been using quote unquote normal looking models in most of like the outlet stores for quite some time now. It's not like you're putting fashion models at like on the big photos up at the top corners of a Target.
There have always been different genres of models. That's not a new thing at all. The new aspect is what we're talking about with obese models, models with scars, deformities, vitiligo, random things like that, tooth gaps.
And that one's
acne,
huge. That one's tooth gaps is huge.
There are
Like
these
every model
are
at
innovations. These are new things.
At Target, I'm like, oh look, that model's thin, tooth gap.
And I shared about this on my Instagram earlier today. I posted a video about Victoria's Secret. I showed a couple of clips from their 2001 Victoria's Secret fashion show, one of the very earliest ones. They started it in 1995, I believe. And I was just looking through the old shows to compare how they are in the early days to their peak of cultural relevance to now. And in their older shows, there was very little pomp and circumstance about it. It wasn't commercialized. A lot of the models they had very serious looks on their faces. It was supposed to be fashion. It was not supposed to be a commercial for consumer products. And it evolved into that over time. And then the complaints about objectification pressured Victoria's Secret into diversifying their models. And now we have what we see today with trans models, obese models, models with surgical scars, etc., etc. And I believe they used diversity quotas as a band-aid over the original problem, which is that the models were being objectified. And you can see that in the clips that I showed as examples from 2001. It became more about the models underneath the clothes than the clothes. And they didn't address the problem at its root cause.
Well, is that just because those models became very famous people? Like at that
through
time,
the brand, that is true.
Through the brand, like the likes of like a Tyra Banks or an Adriana Lima transcended the brand and became huge public,
That was the first year that they ended up interviewing the models as well before the show and like giving a glimpse into their personalities.
I feel like one of the things that the internet did to society was like companies and brands and trends did well when the people who put them at the forefront of society weren't worried about what people thought of them. They just had something they wanted to do. They had a goal in mind and they went and did it rather than worrying about what people thought about it. So if you're doing, I guess in this case, Victoria's Secret, it's like we have a vision for what our brand is and people will attach themselves to it because they like our confidence in what we're selling. But then you started having to take into mind, other people's feelings and how they feel about your brand. And the second you stop worrying about creating something of your own vision and making it about appeasing everybody else, it stops being relevant. I don't know.
I mean, there's this trope that like the pretty girls are the bullies, And I don't think that comports with reality. When women talk about like their experiences with other women, usually it's the women who are less fortunate looking that are the meanest. And it doesn't really comport with the Hollywood tropes. But Selena Gomez clearly has a deep level of insecurity about her physical looks, given the amount of work that she's gotten done.
I
and
feel like this is a
brand
bad photo too. Like it's just a bad photo.
Well, of course, but you can even see the dramatic changes that she's made to her face on red carpets, and this is just from her music video. I mean, this is how she looks now. And there's a whole new layer of drama as well because her brand is featured in Sephora along with Hailey Bieber's beauty brand called Rhode. And that was a recent development as Hailey Bieber sold her brand and now it's going to be carried on shelves. Hailey is, of course, married to Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez's ex. And Selena is still seemingly obsessed with this man, despite the fact that they haven't been together for close to a decade at this point, and he has a child with Hailey Bieber.
I thought people were saying that he was the one that was all pressed because she got married recently, and I don't follow this stuff, but like, because she got married.
I doubt it.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're both dysfunctional in their own ways, but recently Hailey was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal regarding her brand, and they asked her a leading question. They were trying to get her to take the bait, and she resisted. she was asked about the potential comparisons between Rhode, her brand, and Selena Gomez's brand in Sephora. And she just basically said, I don't know, it's annoying when people pit us against each other, and I think that we can all be inspired by each other, blah, blah, blah. She just gave a very political answer and hoped that it would be left at that. But Selena Gomez crashed out on the timeline publicly for everyone to see. She posted and then deleted on Instagram this following statement about Hailey. Just leave the girl alone. She can say whatever she wants. It doesn't affect my life whatsoever. It's just about relevance, not intelligence. Be kind. All brands inspire me. There is room for everyone, and hopefully we can all stop. I don't know what that even means.
You should aspire to delete only for spelling mistakes.
She has extremely schizophrenic social media behavior. Selena, she's constantly the person saying that she's taking a social media break and then comes back 15 minutes later to have another crash out and then takes another hiatus.
It's crazy.
And the cycle continues.
It's crazy that any celebrity who like works with brands is even allowed to have their own social media brand, considering you can destroy an entire career in like one post. Like, if I were any company that had any sense of control over, like, some celebrity... Now, granted, she owns her brand. But I would just be like, look, you can't... Like, you're not posting. Like, you can dictate to a secretary, and then you'll get approval on it. But we're not going to, like, allow you to just go live on Instagram at any moment and say the wrong thing and get us bad press. It just seems like a bad idea.
Selena is a billionaire, so she gets to do whatever she wants with her social media. I want to also mention, since Hailey Bieber came up, that she responded to the accusations that she is secretly transgender.
Oh, wow.
And here's what she had to say about it. Why do they think that's a diss? As if being trans is a diss? They're some of the most beautiful women in the world, and men in the world, and are trans. I don't take that offensively at all.
I mean, that was literally the only answer. Other than saying, no, I'm not, that was the only answer that was going to be politically acceptable in Hollywood.
I can't tolerate this madness anymore.
You're going to have to. It's not going anywhere, especially in the, like, you more than even me would, like, who loves, like, traditional Hollywood, you will always have to deal with it because the stuff you like is going to be, like, connected to it forever. It's not going away.
Just you don't need to do free PR for the trans lobby, okay? Just say that you're not trans and move on.
They do.
Why did you need to go to that length of saying they're the most beautiful women in the world?
She is 1 degree separated from Stan Twitter, so yeah, she did have to. That's a requirement of the culture for them.
I feel like the tide is changing on that issue.
It's not going to go any. Like, if we're talking pop culture and women, it's not going. In my opinion, it's not going anywhere. Like, it may disappear from mainstream discourse for periods of time, but if we're talking about like pop music singers and beauty brands, it's you're stuck with it.
Well, in that case, conservatives are going to need to stop declaring victory on the trans issue because clearly the battle is not over.
Well, I'm saying this is one corner of the battle that's not going anywhere. It's always going to be there.
We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. I've always wondered, do these stars get all this work done out of insecurity or on the urging of all the people around them who are making money off of them? Managers, agents, etc. Well, that is an interesting question to ask, and it will come up later as we talk about this K-pop star. She claims that her management pressured her into getting plastic surgery on her own dime. So, as for the American stars, I think they're just doing it because they're falling down a narcissistic spiral and they have no concept of what they actually look like.
You know, every Wednesday I go in to do IRL and Tim kind of says, Brett, you need to get that leg lengthening surgery.
He does.
It's time to take your job seriously. You need to be taller. And I'm like, look, I am beautiful in my own way and I don't need to do that.
And what the heck? People only look at us from the chest up.
As far as they're concerned, I don't even have legs.
Yeah.
So
we don't have legs.
All right.
A lot of people don't know that. So earlier this month, the world found out that Jane Goodall passed away at the age of 91. And we also found out just yesterday that Netflix had a plan to capitalize on her death before it even happened. They are developing a limited series called Famous Last Words, which will be an 8-part series that they're developing with different celebrities prior to their deaths. They're doing the final interview. Jane Goodall was the first of those 8 to pass away. Therefore, her episode is airing first. And this was one of the already filmed interviews they have stored away for months. She conducted her interview back in March. And now the trailer is out and these clips are spreading everywhere. She seems to have kind of lost her mind a little bit.
Netflix showing up at aging celebrity homes for an interview. That's literally what it is.
Netflix is getting some flack for capitalizing on the deaths of these public figures. One comment said doing late in life interviews isn't really the issue. It's more Netflix capitalizing on imminent or recent death. It's weird to me. It feels kind of gross.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Like, am I supposed to believe that Jane Goodall went into this interview not knowing what the bargain was here?
She absolutely knew that this was the premise for the project. In their description here, they say that Jane Goodall sat down for a reflective conversation about her legacy to immortalize her final words with the understanding that it would only be shared with the world after she passed.
This is just like next level capitalism where these brands have like, they're so powerful. They have the capital to just go and record something that could, she could have lived to 100. You don't know. Like, who's the dude that's always on the Hollywood red carpets, and he's Dick Van Dyke. He's like running around like
maybe
this.
He's one of the other celebrities that they interviewed. We don't know yet.
He's the actual Brian Johnson. He's gonna live forever, and they get a recorded interview, and it'll just sit there, not making them any money.
You know, I bet that he was one of the celebrities that they interviewed. One of the other 8.
Jeremy Briggs in the chat says Netflix and kill.
Right. So in this interview, she does offer some words of wisdom, I suppose, her attempt at it. One thing she said was that she wants to be remembered as somebody sent into this world to try to give people hope in dark times, because without hope, we will fall into apathy and do nothing. She tries to spread a message that, you know, we all have a purpose in this world and you may not have found it yet, but you have the power to make a difference. But in other parts of this interview, she appears to be holding on to a lot of resentment and anger, and she's spreading climate propaganda as well. And this is the clip that got the most attention. Her dying wish is to send Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Bibi Netanyahu into outer space. Here is what she said.
Do you have people that you don't like?
Absolutely, there are people I don't like. And I would like to put them on one of Musk's spaceships and send them all off to the planet he's sure he's going to discover.
Would he be one of them?
Oh, absolutely. He'd be the host. And you can imagine who I'd put on that spaceship.
Who?
Along with Musk would be Trump and some of Trump's real supporters. And then I would put Putin in there. And I would put President Xi. I'd certainly put Netanyahu in there and his far-right government. Put them all on that spaceship and send them off. In the place where I am now, I look back over my life. I look back at the world I've left behind. What message do I want to leave?
The message that you ship your enemies off into outer space in a shuttle.
I want to make sure that you all understand that each and every one of you has a role to play. You may not know it, you may not find it, but your life matters. And you are here
unless
for
you're
a
Elon
reason.
Musk, and then you should just
or
die
Donald Trump,
fiery, and
Okay, so here's the thing. I actually tweeted about this when this clip initially came out. And look, I'm never going to be important enough to get an end of life interview. Maybe I'll do it myself.
You can.
Maybe I'll record my own. But how do you put it into the right words? Like, may I never have a mindset where I spend even a single breath of the last breaths I will ever take focusing on the people that did me wrong or that I don't like. Certainly ones that are just media personalities that I don't even have a real connection to. I would have had more respect if it was like, And this guy, Bob, cut me off in the lunch line in the 5th grade. Fuck him specifically. Like, it's just weird. It's poison for your brain to live with that much hatred in your heart for anyone. I can't endorse that idea that you would use your final interview, your final send-off into space, or into, not space, but into, I guess, the primordial soup, that you would spend any time on those that you hate and dislike, and that you wouldn't spend it on the things that you love, the things that you care about, your family, your friends, the things you've done that you're passionate about. I wouldn't spend it on climate change or even a corresponding cause that I care deeply about. I would focus on things that are good, not this mishgas.
Yeah. It comes off as incredibly bitter and immature for a woman of her age.
I don't even think it's like, I don't think of it as immature. I think of it as a form of like the world beat her down in a way, and the media beat her down. Immaturity to me, it's almost impossible at that age with all of the time you've had to not.
Oh no, it's certainly possible.
I'm not saying people at that age can't be immature, but what I'm saying is that I see this as something where what could be immaturity just turned into hatred, and I don't think of them necessarily as the same thing. The remarks are very pointed. She has her reasons for these things, you know, given her life. It's focusing on the wrong thing.
I think a true sign of maturity when you reach the end of your life is reclamation of sort of childlike wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And we see none of that from her in this clip. It's like looking into a crystal ball and like seeing Greta Thunberg's future.
Yeah, like
sadly.
Look, I tweeted this morning. I was like, take radical responsibility for your own actions. You cannot always change what happens in the world, but you can control how you respond to it. I know that's boilerplate advice, but I think it's good. And I think it's indicative of what we talked about yesterday with like Caleb Hammer and like focusing on what you can do and like your ability to like make your own path in the world. Your finances may be crappy, but you have the ability to change them if you put in the work to do so. There is a personality type that will blame the world around them for their finances being bad, and there's a personality type that will blame the rich people for their life being bad. I have plenty of issues with politicians from all over the spectrum. That doesn't control, I don't let them control whether I have a good life, whether I see the world a specific way. And when you cede that ground to them, you're giving them way more power over you than you need to. By giving any airtime to Elon Musk and Donald Trump in your final au revoir, like in your final speech to the world, giving them any airtime is a victory for them, not for you.
Right. And I know she didn't sit there and outwardly incite violence against these public figures, but it is another sign that the left is spiraling, and increasingly their most mainstream voices are veering off in a direction where they're encouraging political violence and wishing death on their enemies, on their political adversaries. One of the replies says, nothing more utterly shit-lib than talking about blasting your political opponents away on rockets before giving the most cookie-cutter platitude speech about how everyone matters. 91 years old, and you end it on that shit.
Yeah, well, the thing is like the platitudes, I understand, like the platitudes will mean more to the people who like her.
Right.
Like the right, it does plenty of their own platitudes about faith and freedom, things that matter, but it matters because their values resonate with you. Now, we can complain all day about how boring and cookie cutter what she's saying is, but to the people that like her, it will resonate with her.
You know, I'll stick with Steve Irwin.
There you go.
And Bear Grylls. If we're looking at people in Jane Goodall's ilk, I prefer them by far.
There you
over
go.
Jane Goodall.
I just
it's funny, I'm on a streak, weirdly enough, where I keep like making jokes referencing people that die like a week after, because I made a joke about Charlie Kirk like the week before he died.
What'd you say?
It was an Instagram reel that I made. I was like making fun of the way that he sipped his coffee. And then it blew up even more after he died, of course, with a bunch of...
Did you address it? Did you address it?
I didn't address it because it was just dumb. And, you know, some people assumed that I made it after his death, which I didn't want them to assume that. And then other people.
Did you take it down?
I didn't end up taking it down because it was
I think
just
that's better. Yeah, like it.
something that I posted to be lighthearted, and if people want to misinterpret it or lie about it, that's fine. But then I also tweeted about Jane Goodall, not about Jane Goodall, but it was referencing Sabrina Carpenter's comment about observing the male species. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Jane Goodall never did stuff with the chimpanzees. And then I was like, I wonder if Jane Goodall is dead. And I looked it up, and it was literally days before she died that happened. But yeah, then she died.
Well, we're
It's
gonna
a
have
weird
to be
streak that I'm on now.
We're gonna have to be very careful anytime you decide to address anybody with social media posts.
Yeah.
All right. What would you like to see, cringe or cute?
Let's see the cute first.
The cute is particularly cute
good.
today. It is.
I'm
not gonna
excited.
lie. I don't know. I don't think we showed this one yesterday. This one's hilarious though.
Aww.
This is Tastrophe. Tastrophe. Get it?
I love it.
Yes. Maybe one of the eye creatures from Alien Earth got him. Aww.
Very beautiful eyes
Yep.
on this cat.
It's a very cute one.
Yeah. Pretty cat.
I'm gonna do one more. This one is from Duck Biden.
Okay.
This is Blue. He's my spooky hole. Hole, W-H-O.
Oh, yeah. Very cute.
Looks very ferocious. The claws are out.
Yeah, but I love black cats. They have a certain charm about them.
Yep. Well, we love Mocha. We do. I do love Mocha, despite the propaganda that says otherwise. I do love the black cat that we own. All right, let's do the cringe of the day. How bad is today's?
You know, it's just funny to me. This person confronted their Uber driver because they were apparently too fat to get in the car. This is an insane video.
You're not recording me.
I'm going to record you. You just said I'm too large for your car?
This is a matter of logic and rationale, and I have a right to say
No, you
Go
don't.
off, queen.
Ben Shapiro would be so proud.
it's my car.
This is not your car. I'm not too large for your car. I'm going to fit.
It's my vehicle.
Are you
Go
dead
away.
ass, you fucking bitch?
Go away.
Fuck you. Are you dead ass? You are insane.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're a fucking whore.
Staged?
Can you imagine posting this and thinking that you come out looking like the good guy? By the way, I'm pretty sure that his username is like Fatty McFatterson or something. What is his username?
Fatty McFatfuh.
Yeah, so yeah, we know what type of person you
I'm
are.
not
Your
gonna lie.
entire identity is about being fat.
Like, I feel like he'd be even bigger. Like, given the way reflections work, he doesn't even look
You know
that.
what? She was valid. I don't care.
Yeah.
She was valid.
She
for
has
that.
the right to refuse
I
service
love how he said
anyways.
it's not your car. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
it literally is her car. That's how Uber works,
Yeah.
dude.
Like, and you have
You
the right
should
to
walk.
you have the right to to refuse service to anyone.
Well, not after the lawsuit, right?
Oh yeah, the one. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. I literally.
This chick
if I
sued-
maybe I got it wrong. Maybe she lost the lawsuit, but
She sued Uber because she's morbidly obese and couldn't fit in her Uber driver's car, at least not without destroying its alignment.
Detroit rapper Dank DeMoss settles lawsuit
Yup.
with Lyft after the driver denies service.
Oh, it's Lyft, not Uber. Okay.
Lyft, you know, I mean.
What happened? Did she get a payout?
I don't know if it ever said.
That is absolutely insane.
Yep.
That you could get any money out of this.
Yep. It just says settled, so I have to assume that she got a settlement.
Right.
Like otherwise they would say that it was dropped.
That is fucking wild.
The driver suggested ordering Uber XL.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just like you should have to buy another plane seat if you can't fit into one. Like, duh.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a choice, okay?
Let's move on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think part of the downfall of Disney's brand as being one for children and families is that they've repeatedly tried to soften the themes in their stories. And they've destroyed the tropes of Disney's classic villains. Now it seems that they even want to banish villain characters from Disney parks, according to new rumors. Disneyland parks will no longer feature the evil queen from Snow White and other villains as year-round performers. Villainous characters will return during the Halloween season only. Now, this is being called into question. Some people are saying that it's not true and that Disney representative confirmed that the villain characters are not being discontinued.
Yeah, like I don't know how like quick with it and on their sources Mickey Visit is, but
they shared with us that while characters rotate seasonally, there are more villains now during Halloween than during other times of the year. They're not going away. They emphasize that villains remain important character experiences at the parks, and that's not changing. So to reiterate, the rumor is false. However, that doesn't actually refute the claim, which is that they're not going to be present at the parks during other seasons.
Yes.
Which wasn't ordinarily true. So I just want to show a video of the evil queen at Disneyland because this woman deserves to keep her job.
Oh, yes.
She's incredible at what she does.
This lady was born for this role.
La reina, la bruja.
They should have just had her in the movie instead of Gal Gadot.
Tell me I look just like you in the mirror.
They lied.
I love me too.
No, get away. They said get out of the way.
Excuse me. Ugly.
See, in my head canon, at home, she's the nicest person on earth.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
Kind of like the opposite, like somebody who has to be nice at work all day and then they go home and they're just absolutely awful.
I'm sure she's a ray of sunshine.
That's Maleficent.
I love her.
La reina. Any day now, peasant. Go.
Looking fabulous.
As always. Release yourself, child. Do you do the chores? Yeah. What else are children good for? Silence, peasant, I am speaking. You may go that way. There's no line. I go where I please, peasants. Oh. I need to visit my stepdaughter. Trash. What an insult.
Icon.
Your words, not mine. I'm looking for Snow White everywhere. Where is she? Do you know where Snow White is? Do you know where Snow White is? Of course not. You're a man. Useless.
Look, she doesn't deserve to get fired.
No, she does not.
This woman, and it's impressive the amount of improv that they have to do, just reacting to stuff in real time. This is
natural performer.
Yeah. And I saw one reply that said, "This is homophobic. I'm so serious." Because I guess that they're implying the performance that they do is sort of drag adjacent.
Okay.
Even though this is, of course, a woman. But yeah, I think that given
we need to find out if
she's
I bet she's not allowed to be hired out for birthday parties. You need to hire her out for your kids' birthday parties.
Given Disney's track record, would I be surprised if the rumors were true? No, because they have this strange idea that we need to soften children's entertainment and that they can't handle serious themes, that they can't handle things that are too scary. And it's like it's the entertainment version of replacing like the playground concrete with like rubber. What was they replaced it all with like rubber turf on playgrounds so that kids wouldn't get hurt. You know, it's that version but for movies and television.
You seen those like memes of like the old playgrounds that just look like death traps? They look like dungeons.
Exactly. And you know,
this came up when I was on that episode of The Culture War. What was it, 2 weeks ago, with Tom Bancroft, who was an animator for Disney. He did Mushu for Mulan. He did the animation for that. A bunch of other characters you've absolutely heard of. And we got into a discussion about what fairy tales were and how they helped kids grapple with fears and anxieties. And it was part of what, the importance of storytelling. and how Disney has changed over time with those characters.
Absolutely. And all of these original fairy tales that Disney has adapted are quite harrowing, and they sanitized them throughout the years and decades to make them seemingly more family friendly. And then as they make modern adaptations, they're even worse in that regard. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is true. Now the Evil Queen performers are responding to the rumors. They're being asked about it in real life. And I wanted to show this TikTok of the Evil Queen responding and asking people to complain so that this doesn't happen.
How are you going to feel when October ends and all of your villain friend leaves?
And they take me with them.
You're not leaving. You better not leave.
Yes, what will you do, Adrian, without me?
I don't know what I'll do.
I know, I'm your absolute favorite, especially now that Maleficent will be gone, too.
Yes, but if you leave, I would be so sad.
What would you do?
I'll have to tell people to revolt.
You'll complain.
Oh, I will.
You'll start a revolution.
Yes, no, we all will.
Well, I'm counting on you, my dear.
Yes, I will.
Next month is coming.
Oh, I will.
Be ready.
Oh, I will.
So she would not say that if it weren't true. She said make that change.org petition. And then in this other video,
but what response would she give otherwise, other than to lean into it?
Well, then she would probably
I guess she could be
say
like,
that
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, she would like lean into the real.
If she gets furloughed, she's gonna have to make like a generic Queen cameo,
right?
Where she gets hired to make fun of you.
Evil Queen cameo.
She probably honestly wouldn't even be able to call it Evil Queen. Like she would have to call it something else. Like
the bad monarch. I don't know. It would be so bad. Then this other video, they asked her again, and then a different performer. I think that one is at the Disney World park. But yeah, let's hear this one.
Yes, go complain.
Okay.
Tell them you want me specifically all year round.
Yes, I'll go. Today I'm gonna go.
Can I trust you?
This guy's got a weird thing. I'm sorry. This guy's
he has a weird crush on the Evil Queen.
This guy watches this video when he gets home for sure.
Yes, today I'm gonna go.
Cross your heart.
Cross my heart. Hope to die.
Oh. I can make that happen.
Yes.
I'll bring an apple next time.
Yes.
If I'm still here.
Oh, no, don't do that.
That's what I thought.
Don't do that.
Beautiful.
Yes,
Ooh,
you are.
no makeup, all natural.
Natural,
That's
yes.
right, my dear. Cut!
Thank you, La Reina.
You're welcome. I'm serious, my dear.
I will.
Tell them.
No, today.
You will. Tonight.
Tonight.
You
It's like,
two,
save
all
my
of you.
job.
Yes.
And then this other Evil Queen.
You can all go and cry to the powers that be in this kingdom that don't rule adequately or fairly.
She's not as good. I'm sorry.
No.
She doesn't have it. She
not
doesn't
our
got
favorite.
the it sauce.
That you can go and cry to them that every day, every moment that you miss me.
Yes, and they will be genuine, real, authentic tears.
They absolutely will. And everyone in that little mirror in there as well should complain too.
Okay, she picked it up a little bit at the end there. Not as good as the other lady. The
recovered.
other lady's probably got a side hustle as a dominatrix. I'm not even kidding you.
So I'm just saying, if the rumors weren't true, then the performers wouldn't be
Yeah.
begging people to help them keep their jobs, even though they're doing so in character. So I'm pretty sure it's real. And, you know, the Disney parks are just becoming a very dark place. I hate to ruin the vibe right now, but 3 people have died at Disney World in the past
little over a week.
Like 10 days maybe stretch, including a suicide. Really dark stuff. The most recent death occurred at Disney World yesterday. The police showed up and there was some sort of medical emergency, but yeah, that's all we know so far. And then the suicide was, unfortunately, this 31-year-old woman went to the Contemporary Resort Hotel in Florida and jumped off of this high building here. It's apparently a famous suicide spot in the Disney parks where several people have jumped to their death over the years.
Yeah.
And there was another death back on October 8th. A woman in her 60s was unresponsive on the Haunted Mansion ride and then pronounced dead at a hospital nearby, and you told me there's a rule where they have to attempt resuscitation on anyone who dies on Disney property so that they officially be declared dead off property for PR reasons.
I've seen more than a couple of TV shows use this theme, like in their like in a storyline about these major companies that make sure that the deaths are listed as not on property.
The TMZ headline is so crazy. Disney World, another day, another body.
Like, who is the poor intern whose job it is to just get real dark?
It's so unserious.
When writing it, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Mickey's Mousetrap.
It's just not the magical place it used to be. And I think that kids love the villains.
Yep.
And they love scary stories. They love fairy tales for exactly what they were. And it's sad that Disney has done everything in their power to siphon all the meaning out of these stories.
Jin in the chat says, I've seen her as Evil Queen Maleficent and that other one, and she's the best actress they've got. They could get rid of all of them, but keep her.
Yeah.
She's the moneymaker. People make trips just to see her.
Right.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
I mean, the sanitization of stories has been going on for a long time.
But especially for kids.
For kids, like the discussion about what a PG movie was in like the 90s versus what a PG movie is now. They made toys for RoboCop, which was an R-rated movie back in the in the 80s. Like, it's just the way things were.
So I remember we mentioned Ratatouille yesterday, and I recently rewatched Ratatouille. And I love that movie. It came out in 2007, I believe. Not that long ago in the grand scheme of things in Disney history. But there are so many aspects of that movie they would never include today, including in the intro scene. So the rat, Remy, he's in this old Italian, in this old French woman's house, her cottage, stealing food from her. And she spots him and starts firing a shotgun at him.
Yep. Winnie the Pooh used to carry a shotgun.
They would never include scenes with gunshots in a Disney movie today. Never in a million years. And then they also show Remy running through the rafters of an apartment building, and he sneaks and looks at this couple who are fighting in their apartment. And this woman is waving a gun around, and then they start making out, and she shoots into the ceiling. And then I was like, okay, that's another thing they would never include.
That's autobiographical from some writer's family life.
Making light of domestic violence. And then there's another scene in Ratatouille where the human character, he's in love with this fellow chef at the restaurant, at Gaston's, I believe it's called. Could be wrong about that. But anyway, they're in an argument. They're in the middle of this heated argument, and then I think Remy is on his head and then forces him to kiss her. And he is leaning her against the moped, but she's angry at first, but they're still kissing, and then she gives in, and then it's a romantic scene. Again, would never ever in a million years be included in a Disney movie today because of Me Too and it was non-consensual, she didn't consent to the kiss.
Yeah.
And all of those things I didn't question for even a millisecond when I watched it as a kid.
Yep.
All of these things are perfectly appropriate to include in a kid's movie. And that's to say nothing of the Disney villains over the years, like the Evil Queen. It's sad because kids are growing up with the most boring shit.
Well, that's why you say you have those on VHS or DVD, and you make sure that those are the movies that they watch growing up.
Absolutely. I don't need anything post 2010 pretty much.
All right, let's go Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Friday, Brett and Mary. Can we please stop with the biopic of musicians who aren't dead yet? No one asked for nor wanted a Bruce Springsteen biopic."
Yeah, I'll never care about a Bruce Springsteen. He's not as bad as Bob Dylan, but I don't care.
So I know Timothy Chalamet played Bob Dylan. Wait, who played Bruce Springsteen? Was that Austin? No, Austin Butler was Elvis, who was dead when they made the movie.
I forget who it was. Was it Jacob Elordi?
No, Jacob Elordi also played Elvis.
Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy Allen White played Bruce Springsteen. But yeah, they had Jacob Elordi and Austin Butler play Elvis. Jacob Elordi was in the Priscilla movie. Yeah, I agree. They're doing the Madonna one with Julia Garner, right?
Yeah, I don't care about the music documentaries about these characters, about these people that are still alive. Like, you know what? The only way I want it is if the actor absolutely doesn't want it. Like, if the actor's like, I don't, like, if they were smart, if they wanted to make some money, they'd secretly sign on to these things, and then they'd start trash talking and be like, don't go see it. Don't go see it. It's not real. It's not accurate. Anything they say I did in there, I did not do. There's no proof. You've got no evidence. I'm going to sue you, movie maker. And then watch the people go out and see it because they're like...
It's a pretty good marketing strategy, actually. You know, the Amy Winehouse biopic was also a disaster.
Yeah. How do you fuck that up?
Everyone wanted Lady Gaga to play Amy Winehouse, and they chose some rando. Then MGK was in the Motley Crue movie, which was weird. Yeah, they're just miss after miss with the biopics.
There's a 20 there.
Pop Culture Junkie said, after covering the Epcot opening, I dated a Disney PR director who told me a series of stories about deaths at the park. They were kept hush-hush with millions in cash and onerous NDAs. Was when Disney had their own cops. They don't anymore?
Is that connected to Reedy Creek and the, you know, the zoning stuff? I don't know. But, you know, funny to think that they've got, like, their own law enforcement division.
And what was that other situation where, like, the couple wasn't allowed to sue Disney because they had a Disney Plus subscription?
I don't know.
It was like, I think the wife had, like, an allergic reaction at one of their restaurants.
One of the restaurants, and then they're like, "Well, you signed the agreement in the you know, what is it called? The agreement.
Their terms and conditions
of service,
state that you like they have no liability for anything."
I'm guessing the judge was like, "Yeah, that's not gonna fly, guys. Not gonna fly."
No, I think it did.
No,
because Disney is packed to the gills with legal. They can get away with anything. They're like Palantir.
There's like a controversy going on right now with this wrestler named Andrade who so the non-competes in wrestling have always been a point of personal interest because they're considered independent contractors, but they're held to these rigid contracts. Mainly
sort of like K-pop stars.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. And basically what happened is usually they get these 90-day clauses in their contract. You can't go compete for, you know, you can't go wrestle for a competing company for 90 days. It's basically designed to like make sure that no momentum that you had on the way out can sustain the 90 days so that you basically have to start over. They still paid you during those 90 days, but you weren't able to go wrestle elsewhere. And for him, basically what they did is they have certain rules in the contracts now, from what I understand, where it's basically like if you're like trying to get out of it, so you're like causing a scene on Twitter, you're trying to get out of your contract by making them look bad so that they'll release you. And they can enforce like supposedly a 1-year non-compete if you get fired for that sort of just cause, what they consider just cause.
Even after they let you go.
Even after they let you go, because you were trying to hurt their business in the process of your release. Now, a bunch of channels have been covering it, but that is, I mean, it's all BS anyways, because they're held to these crazy standards as like as like independent contractors, but at the same time, they have like the same exact rules that you or I would have being under contract here.
Well, on that note, I guess that's the perfect segue into our next topic. There is this K-pop singer named Park Bom who is now suing her former entertainment company, YG Entertainment, for an imaginary sum of money. I can't even pronounce this number. Can you show it on screen for us? It's in won. So I don't know what this even is.
Do you want to just read the string of digits?
I actually asked Grok to tell me how it's pronounced, so I'm going to attempt now. She is suing for 1 sextillion, 2 quintillion, 3 quadrillion, 4 trillion, 6 billion, 7 million, 1,034 and 6,427 trillion. Won.
I love the meme here. It says Park Bom lawyers typing in the figures.
Yeah, which is technically, according to some, an equivalent to 4.5 quadrillion in USD.
Okay.
Which is also...
That's a lot of money.
Is that money that even exists? I don't know.
Well, our country is currently like 38 trillion in debt, and that's nowhere near a quadrillion.
So she is suing this entertainment company for financial fraud and embezzlement. The reason it's called an entertainment company is because the K-pop music industry is totally different from what we are used to in the West. They don't have traditional record label deals. It's more so like an indentured servitude, or perhaps, according to some, enslavement. So if she wins the lawsuit, Park Bom is expected to become the richest person in the world, surpassing Elon Musk, I'm sure, by many multiples.
Everybody in the chat's like, so like 2,000 American.
One person said, there are 7.5 billion people in the world. If Park Bom wins the lawsuit, she could literally end world poverty and give everyone $1 billion. And she'd still have, I'm sure, many billions left. This woman is clearly out of her mind. But for context, Park Bom used to be a front-leading vocalist for a K-pop group called 2NE1. That's the actual...
2NE1.
It's pronounced either 21 or 2NE1. And this was a group started by YG Entertainment back in 2009. They've been on indefinite hiatus since 2016. But they were sort of the precursor to a lot of K-pop groups like Blackpink that exist today. And she is suing for a lot of claims, but...
BTS been real quiet since this dropped.
Guys, the K-pop industry is like... Picture the Hollywood studio system that no longer exists on steroids. They basically own these people. They recruit children into it and basically put you in a training boot camp from a very young age to make you into an idol. And it means they have control over pretty much every aspect of your life. Your weight, your measurements, every ounce of food that you intake, your dating life or lack thereof. Oftentimes the contracts they enter into completely prevent them from dating because in their culture, I guess they have such an exaggerated idol culture that the fans are attached to the person, not just the music.
I mean, that's a lot of streamers take that approach in America. Like they pretend to not be in relationships because, you know, it's not beneficial for them to not appear to be on the market, which just proves to you how a lot of people in these spaces are kind of okay with a specific level of delusion from the public.
Of course, that's just a level of parasocial relationship that's becoming more and more common. It's just that the equivalent would be Twitch forcing streamers into exclusive contracts where they're not allowed to date, not making the choice for themselves.
There's a 20.
Culture Junkie said Disney lost control over a number of things at the park after the kerfuffle over Disney complaints over the elimination of the gay content in the public school curriculum. Thus is while Chapek Chapek was Disney CEO.
So it was all connected to Disney, Reedy Creek, the Don't Say Gay bill, and everything that was going on at that time. That was a time. My goodness, that was such a time in this space.
So I mean, needless to say, this woman is clearly mentally disturbed. She is probably in the middle of a psychotic episode or manic episode to think that she has any chance of winning this lawsuit. And if you go back and find more examples, there are countless lawsuits launched by K-pop idols against their entertainment companies for exploitation. And while their claims are likely true, it's really hard for them to get justice after the fact. One reply said, "I'm sorry, I just feel bad for her. She clearly needs help from her people. She isn't well. Demanding a Korean music label pay you $4.5 quadrillion when the entire country itself is only worth $1.8 trillion. This will come back against her in the courts or even worse." And whatever legal team is getting paid by this woman to represent her is clearly taking advantage of a mentally ill person. And now it's spreading from a deleted Instagram post that she has accused YG Entertainment of pressuring her into having plastic surgery. This was her claim. They said they made my appearance look stupid just to mock me. Thinking about it, YG never once paid for my cosmetic surgery. The few procedures I had were all paid for out of my own pocket. They used me as an example to mock people who had plastic surgeries. Even when I went to dermatology clinics, I paid for everything myself. I wrote all of their songs. They locked me up and made me write every song except for one. They never paid me, and even if you search for the credits, my name isn't there. I gave all for my singing, but it never paid off. I was never once allowed to do a magazine photo shoot. In total, I was offered 4,231 commercial offers, but they were all given to someone else. And then regarding plastic surgery, she said, once they suddenly apologized to me. When I asked why, they said they had been using me as a joke for discussions about plastic surgery. So it's unclear what they exactly did to pressure her into getting these cosmetic procedures, but you can see it's quite extreme. And I saw these photos of her from before she got work done. It's really sad. You have these photos of her from back in the day. She was a beautiful girl, never needed to do any of this to her face.
Wait,
although
can you resend me that one? I'm sorry. I think
plastic surgery is incredibly common in South Korea. It's something that a greater portion of the general population does compared to the US. But it's almost mandatory for K-pop idols to get work done. This was how she looked before she got all of these cosmetic procedures, and in these current photos she looks like a totally different person. And then this person said if YG forced her to do plastic surgery, then she is right to sue them. And while that's true, it's really hard to prove. And this company, YG, is founded by a man named Yang Hyun-suk. I don't know if I pronounced that right. The current CEO is actually his brother, Yang Min-suk, who's named in the lawsuit. But this was his alleged reaction to the lawsuit. He didn't have any feelings of sadness or anger after seeing her post, but rather he was worried. More than anything, he was concerned about her health.
Yeah, there was a post from D Nation. I can't fact check this here, but this is from like 12 hours ago. It's like D Nation saying basically that she's unwell.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, it says first
totally detached from reality.
It says first of all, we would like to apologize for any inconvenience caused by Park Bom's recent personal SNS post. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude for your generous encouragement. Park Bom is currently in a very emotionally unstable state and has difficulty communicating, so she is in dire need of treatment and rest to recover. As SNS posts spread through various channels, they are being misinterpreted and unnecessary misunderstandings are occurring. As a result, the damage is spreading not only to Park Bom herself, but also to her family and acquaintances. Please refrain from indiscriminate sharing of posts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Personally, I think it's unconscionable to induct children into this industry before they have the freedom to choose it for themselves. And it's usually their parents signing them away. Basically as slaves to these companies. And I bet realistically, there are K-pop idols currently being mistreated in the same fashion, and K-pop idols in training who are on the same exact path to where Park Bom is today. She's just an early example of it. Obviously, back in 2009, K-pop was nowhere near the level of relevance that it has today in the West. Like, I only recall K-pop becoming, like, sort of mainstream post-pandemic with like Westerners, like Americans,
started in like
specifically.
2018 or 2017, but like post-pandemic.
That would be the start, but like now, you know, you oftentimes see K-pop singers at mainstream American entertainment events, red carpets, that sort of thing, the Met Gala. It was not as common before, so she's kind of the predecessor to a lot of these people.
Yeah. I don't know if this was another one. This was under the first post that you show from the About Music post. It says, Park Bomb's agency, D Nation, has released a statement clarifying that she never actually filed a lawsuit against YG Entertainment, as her now deleted post claims. All settlements related to Park Bomb's activities with 2NE1 have already been completed, and there is no record of any complaint or lawsuit being filed despite what was uploaded on social media. Park Bomb has halted all activities and is currently focusing on treatment and recovery. I don't know if that's true. It's just, it was under the post there. Somebody can fake a graphic very easily. Who knows? But just thought I'd
And of course, like, all of the
there.
coverage about this is from sites that aren't in English, so it's
so
really
if
hard to find
the
information.
translation could be BS for all you know, so it's very hard to tell.
Right.
So
yeah, it's just a sad situation.
I mean, the idea alone about that level of like boot camp mentality for those young people is scary to begin with. But look, there have been documentaries made about the boy band craze in the 90s and what it was like to be those guys at that time. Obviously not on the same level, but a lot of them, they got screwed out of a lot of money.
Sure,
They got screwed out of a lot.
But that's just the type of story that we're familiar with as Americans.
Yes.
Who have rights. And like they have no such concept, it seems, and the fans of these idols in South Korea feel such a sense of entitlement and ownership over the idols, similarly to the people managing them.
Yeah.
That they really have no freedom. They have no sense of self. They have no identity outside of performing.
Yeah.
And it's just it's sort of like our American celebrity worship culture on steroids.
Yeah.
And I don't like that it's crossing overseas. I'm a xenophobe, so
I'm
against it.
I mean, celebrity worship culture in general is something that's kind of a scourge on society.
Like, at least if you're in one of these boy bands, right? Like if you're in One Direction or whatever, like you do ultimately have the choice to step back.
In the chat,
but that reminds me of Liam Payne now.
Yeah,
like
that's a little over a year ago now.
Reminiscent of sort of the mental state that Park Bomb appears to be in.
All right,
unfortunately.
Let's go to Superchats.
Greg Duvier said, Mary admits she is queen of the Congo and is using slaves to harvest the ingredients and the coffee. I didn't say anything about slavery. They're doing it out of their own free will. Just, to help the cause.
It's like the house elves in Harry Potter.
Exactly. They love it. Grolgar said, why, I think you mean, does Selena sound like Fran from The Nanny?
Oh, she doesn't sound like Fran from The Nanny.
Not quite.
Not that nasally.
But if you look back at old videos of Selena Gomez, like back when she was on Disney Channel, etc., her voice sounded nothing like that.
Yeah.
She did not talk in this monotone.
Is it because her face isn't moving?
Nasally. It's partly that she can't move her face because of the Botox.
Yeah.
Some people say that lupus can malform your vocal cords. I don't, or that it might be related to the medications that she takes for lupus.
Okay.
I'm not a lupus expert, but it sounds like bullshit. And people just use lupus to excuse everything she does.
Well, Dr. House is a lupus expert, and as you know, it's never lupus.
Literally never lupus. But
you stash your drugs in a lupus textbook.
She always sounds like she's on another planet. Like she sounds like she's on sedatives.
Could be.
All the time.
Could be.
And at the very least, she went on Ozempic before her
wedding.
I saw this video about her response to Hailey Bieber, where this girl said, "Send my regards to Romeo," about Benny Blanco. Yeah, so they're in their honeymoon phase.
Okay. All right. Let's hold off on the rest. Let's move on. We got more to get into today.
This is an absolutely insane story. So this 22-year-old woman from Scotland named Kira Cousins has now reached international attention for faking an entire pregnancy to term and then faking a birth and carrying around a silicone reborn doll to pretend that she actually went through with it and gave birth to a real live baby. And she was showing it to her friends, to her family members. She even convinced her boyfriend that he was the father of this baby that never existed.
And the boyfriend later, you find out through text that he had no idea what was going on.
And I'll just say at the outset, this kid, this young man that she duped, should absolutely take her to court for emotional damages at the very least, because she not only convinced him that he was the father, she also demonized him and his family on social media the entire time that she was faking the pregnancy. She kept him in the dark, obviously, about all of the details because there were no details to share. And she refused a DNA test. Can't imagine why. She also then lied to this kid, telling him that their baby died after birth as a result of a heart murmur, a birth defect. And
I was born with a heart murmur, like a very severe heart murmur.
It could be like, you know, survivable. It could be serious. Like, but she made up medical records,
like fake scans.
It was insane. So yeah, this woman's name is Kira Cousins. She also threw a baby shower, a gender reveal party for her fake baby, and filmed it. Her friend is speaking out. This girl's name is Neve, and she is posting several TikToks with evidence of what happened. So let's play this video. She
From the
narrates.
tweet?
Yeah, she narrates the course of events here and everything that Kira posted as, you know, supposed evidence of her pregnancy over these past like 9 months.
So this is Kira at her own gender reveal, and me looking like a fanny at a gender reveal for a doll. But at the time, believing I was being supportive for a friend. Then she...
So does that mean like you have to get bellies with like varying sizes, or can you like fill it up?
I guess that she just bought one for the later months, for the third trimester.
Also went to a wedding with a fake bump. Then she said that the baby had heart problems. Then she was buying the baby clothes. And then the mum and gran bought the £1,000 pram. Then she sent me a video of the baby kicking. Then she posted on Facebook saying thanks to the gran and great gran for buying her a chair. Then there was just more photos of Kira and Bonnie Lee, this doll.
That's the reborn right there.
Oh my god.
Then in a few settings, the text messages are going to come up where she says that she had took Bonnie Lee to the hospital because she was cold, etc. Then all the blue chats that you'll see is me when I found out that it's a doll. That's her saying happy birthday to me. And then this is what her aunties just sent me here. She thinks her mum was in it. And so they are.
Okay.
And in this post about the baby's supposed heart defect, she said, thankfully both defects are treatable, and the cardiologist and NICU team we have spoke to feel very confident they will fix the issues, but we have to prepare. We have many more appointments with specialists and are getting the best care for our daughter. In the meantime, thank you so much for checking in. Please respect privacy on both sides of the family, regardless of what happened, to which I'm sure everyone's seen last week. Both families' main priorities are our daughter and having her supported and loved through this difficult time of her life. And she posted these fake medical photos of her daughter's heart defect as well. And the video where she's pretending that the baby is kicking is insane. She's posted this picture of the baby doll wearing a winter outfit saying like, all warm and wrapped up today, equally as cute. Thanks to great gran and granddad for the chair. I'm even opening my eyes to start being nosy in it. She's posting in the voice of her baby. That doesn't exist. She named the baby doll Bonnie Lee and convinced everyone around her, including this friend, Neve, that it was a real child. She even visited her friend's house with the baby wrapped up and covered up. Obviously, if your friend is visiting with their baby, you wouldn't immediately assume, unless you're crazy, that it's a fake baby. So why the hell would you know?
Yeah. Like, it would rely on the fact that you wouldn't assume anybody is that nuts.
And this friend took to TikTok and told the story in her own words, saying at the end, for all of those people out there saying that Kira needs help, she needs nothing of the sort. She does not need help. She needs jail, and she needs to be sued. She said she is a demon. And that she's, gonna deal with trust issues after this, understandably,
and she's
having been duped for close to a year.
And she basically is like, yeah, it got out of hand. Sorry.
This isn't Munchausen's, obviously, but it's something.
It's something adjacent. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Know.
It's the desire for the attention that's given. It's literally like Munchausen's without doing the initial work to actually have the child.
I believe that the phenomenon is called ecstatic pregnancy.
Okay.
Or maybe it's it was actually, I think, something I learned about through the story of Queen Mary, who experienced basically a psychosomatic pregnancy in front of the entire country, and then it turned out obviously like she didn't give birth, and then she was mocked mercilessly for it. But it seems like Kira, on the other hand, didn't even believe herself that she was pregnant. She was in on her own scheme the entire time.
Like the Hollywood version of this is like they lose the pregnancy early on and something snaps in them and they don't know how to tell anybody. Yeah. So they make them somewhat redeemable,
somewhat sympathetic,
because something bad happened and they lose their mind.
It was only found out after, I believe, her mom walked into her room unexpectedly and saw the baby doll like lying limp in the corner of the room while she was, laying about on her phone.
Like, you're not even keeping up the ruse while the family's there?
Yeah. And a lot of people tried to make these charitable assumptions like, oh, she's not letting anyone hold the baby because she's a protective mom and she's a first-time mom. It's totally normal. Meanwhile, she was like getting all of this attention and all of this money and gifts given to her for a baby that never existed in the first place. And now she still has her Instagram active. Her bio says, "I'm sorry to everyone. I did not think straight. I was messed up from past trauma. My life has to move on." In her post from 3 days ago, here's what she said. "I wasn't pregnant. There was no baby. I made it up and kept it going way too far. I faked scans, messages, a whole birth story, and acted like a doll was a real baby. I know how bad it is. Fucked up. I just didn't know how to stop once I started." Neve, to her friend, "I'm so sorry. You were there for me through it all. You cried happy tears, picked me up, brought me places, believed everything I said. You didn't deserve to be lied to. None of you did. Your mom, your niece, everyone who came to the gender reveal party, all the people who gave me gifts and support. I effed up and I hurt a lot of people. I don't have a proper excuse. Yeah, I wasn't in a good headspace, but that doesn't make what I did okay.
No.
I know this is going to stick with me for a long time and that I've probably lost friends I'll never get back. I am trying to figure myself out and get help because this version of me isn't someone I want to be. I know I've ruined a lot of trust and that sorry won't fix everything, but it's all I can say right now. And to everyone I made look bad along the way, Jamie is the once presumed baby daddy, and his family especially, I'm sorry. I made you out to be horrible people when really I was the one in the wrong completely." So she just came right out with it.
Not to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, but like, remember when people say that women are inherently better leaders for politics, just remember that stories like this exist. So there's evil from both genders. It's just usually different types of evil.
I'll tell you, I am seated for the dramatic reenactment or Netflix documentary that is to follow because they're certainly all over this right now.
They're like the Jane Goodall thing's done. Okay, let's go make this movie.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm definitely interested in finding out more information, but it was hard to understand through all of their Scottish accents.
Yeah,
it's basically a different language.
Yeah, I mean that's like a meme in movies. Like, who remembers it? If anybody here saw the Uncharted movie, where it's the Scottish character, and every time he talks, everybody just goes, "What the hell are you saying?"
By the way, one comment that I saw on her friend's TikTok telling the story of what happened was from a reborn doll designer saying she reached out to me in June to buy one of my dolls. And I'm just thinking, if you're the person designing and selling these realistic silicone babies on the internet, and you see this happens, this is your customer who did this, do you not rethink, like, maybe what I do for my business isn't ethical? Maybe I'm catering to an audience of deeply mentally disturbed people, and I'm actually worsening the mental state they're already in.
I mean,
this is what I've said about the reborn doll collectors this entire time. They're oftentimes using excuses like, oh, it helps women, you know, heal from trauma after pregnancy loss or after losing an infant. And maybe it's for women who struggle with infertility and they use this as a coping mechanism. I have repeatedly stated that is not a healthy coping mechanism for anyone, regardless of the reason why you're attracted to the idea of walking around town with a fake baby in the pram. It's not a good idea. And the people selling these dolls, obviously they know from this story at the very least that the people buying from them are mentally ill.
Well, at the very least, this one is, and we've covered the other ones as well, where there's definitely some weirdness going on.
Some weirdness is an understatement, that's for sure.
This is, of course, the most egregious example in this lady is, and not just insane, but a criminal, and right?
I mean, is it criminal
fraud.
what she did? I assume that if she's receiving money from people for the baby, that is a form of illegal fraud.
Yeah.
Who knows if she's gonna get
at the
charges
very least,
pressed
she's
against
a
her.
very, very bad person.
And regardless of whether it was criminal, I'm certain that the once presumed baby daddy in this case has precedent to sue her for emotional damages and maybe even defamation, since she was defaming him and his family the entire time that people believed she was pregnant.
Just remember that the like men and women are both capable of great evil, and that the evil of women just looks very different than the evil of men, and this is the evil of women.
Like, you can see the screenshots.
Like, imagine like when men go on, like, nobody buys it when some dude goes on a killing spree and then he's like, you know what, I was dealing with a lot of childhood trauma. My parents messed me up. It's like, that's not an excuse, bro. It just
I do see people making excuses like that for murderers too.
They shouldn't do that either.
I know, but you can see in these screenshots, she's like also emotionally blackmailing this young man.
Yeah.
Saying something happened to Bonnie Lee, but I need someone here with me to explain things to you so you can understand. And he says, what? And she says, Bonnie Lee died, but you need to give me time to tell you everything, and I will, I promise. And he says, WTF? And she says, please, I know you want answers, but please, Jamie. And he said, you've left me in the dark for long enough, I'm coming. So he was going to see the baby or what was going on. And she said, you're not getting in, so charge on, like you won't get in. And she was still trying to fool him into thinking that not only was he the father of this baby, but now the baby has died.
Yeah.
Like, what in fuck's name is wrong with you?
Yep.
I'd love to know. I'm genuinely curious.
Like, the other version of this is like she pretends like it died before she gave birth so she doesn't have to fake an actual baby.
Yeah, I guess that
like the other
ends the ruse.
Yes,
or she was hoping that people would just forget about it. Yeah. I don't know. I did want to mention it was Queen Mary I of England who experienced 2 well-documented episodes of what's called pseudocyesis, commonly known as phantom pregnancy, a condition where a woman exhibits the physical symptoms of pregnancy without actually being pregnant. The first episode began in 1554 after her marriage to Philip of Spain, and by April of 1555, Mary was widely believed to be pregnant. Her abdomen had swollen. She reported morning sickness, and fetal movements, and preparations for the birth were underway, including readying the nursery and wet nurses. Public celebrations erupted upon the announcement of a birth in April of 1555, but no child was delivered, Despite the lack of a child, Mary persisted in believing she was pregnant, withdrawing into seclusion and displaying signs of depression. Her condition was so convincing that even her physicians believed that she was pregnant, and the court maintained the pretense until July. By August, after nearly a year, she emerged from confinement visibly emaciated and humiliated, and the official narrative of her pregnancy ceased. And then that was followed by a second episode in 1557. She had a swollen abdomen and cessation of menstruation. That's remarkable, though no child was born that time either.
Unbelievable.
So, I mean, in an example like that, you can clearly see, Queen Mary believed she was pregnant.
Yeah.
As did her doctors. Kira, on the other hand, never even believed it privately.
No,
she wasn't even under the impression that it was real.
In a narcissistic, evil world.
Like, this is just a sociopath.
Yes. All right.
Shane H. Wilder said, with all the work Selena has had, her eyes are now closer together than Brett's. She looks like an old Asian lady who would run a bodega in Chinatown. Yeah, we're seeing the transformation take place.
There's a 20 there. Shane H. Wilder.
See it. Oh, Shane H. Wilder. The baby looked faker than the baby in American Sniper. This would be considered a factitious disorder, Munchausen's, compared to pseudocyesis, which would be a woman believing they are pregnant. Yeah, there is a marked difference.
She wants all of the attention that comes from being pregnant and having kids, and none of the. Would the non-baby version of this being like a girl like saying she's getting married and like throwing herself like a bridal shower in a bachelor party? It was like, in a bachelorette party, but he lives in another country. Oh, sorry, you just haven't met him yet. And then like, oh, he died.
But you would think if all she wanted was all the attention from being pregnant and having a child, she would actually have the option to just like poke a hole in a condom, she could literally do that. That's an option.
Andy Panda in the chat, basically, yes, he pointed out, he said, fake newborn has the problem of having to be recast every week because they grow so fast. Week 7, my baby is diagnosed as a changeless dwarf. Sorry, guys. Yeah, eventually they're like, it's been 2 months. Why does your baby look exactly the same?
Right?
Like, are you going to have to buy a new one every couple of weeks? Like, isn't the meme always about how the kids grow out of their clothes so fast at that age?
Right. It obviously wasn't going to last forever.
There was so much wrong with that story.
Well, I mean, I think that some people have babies for attention. At least in part, because they like the attention. And, that's something that she could have done, but I think she wanted to get the thrill out of fooling everyone,
I mean,
that was part of the appeal for her.
There's an end game there. There's a million ways you can fool people.
And on top of that, after the fake baby death, then you get all the sympathy for being the grieving mother.
Think about the fake illnesses from the lady on Grey's Anatomy, who was working on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, she was faking cancer for years, right?
She had shaved her head, went the whole way, shaved her eyebrows, did everything. And that was because the show incentivized people. Like, if you dealt with real illness, you were treated as you had some special wisdom to add to the writing that somehow couldn't be done through research.
Right. What was that lady's name again?
That lady's name.
She was like a writer on the show, right?
Yeah, she was a writer. She's a Grey's Anatomy writer. I forget that lady's name.
Let me see what her name was. Yeah, she eventually fessed up. Her name was Elizabeth Finch.
Okay.
Yeah, she admitted to fabricating a diagnosis of chondrosarcoma, a rare form of bone cancer, which she used to inspire storylines on the show and gain professional opportunities. She maintained the deception for years, including shaving her head, taking puke breaks on set to simulate chemotherapy side effects, and claiming that the illness had cost her a kidney and part of her tibia.
I've changed my mind. I want women to run the presidency and the CIA because this type of diabolical behavior is needed in our intelligence agencies and whatnot. So I need them to make nothing but women at the head of the CIA.
It's like Frank Abagnale from Catch Me If You Can. Yeah. He eventually started working for the FBI because he was so good at fooling the FBI that he could.
That's true. I mean, on the
assist.
show White Collar, they had a guy who was like a technical advisor on the show who was a criminal, who like a con man who went to work for the FBI after he got caught. It's like the hackers. Hackers get caught and then they go and they get relegated to like working for the government.
It says her lies were exposed in 2022 after her wife, I guess she's gay, reportedly revealed the truth to Grey's Anatomy producers, leading her to her departure from the show. And then in 2024,
the only justice in this would have been for Law and Order to do a rip from the headlines like murder or like episode where the character, like the wife, finds out that she's been being lied to this whole time and then kills her, and then it becomes a Law and Order episode.
Nice. Yeah, well, they did make it into a docuseries. She apologized last year, stating there was no excuse, no justification for her actions, and expressed deep regret for the trauma she caused. And that was followed by a 3-part docuseries on Peacock titled Anatomy of Lies, detailing the extent of her deception, including how she misrepresented her wife's experiences and fabricated other personal traumas. In early 2025, she faced further criticism for soliciting donations from her social media followers for wildfire victims. What kind of idiot do you have to be to send this woman money online after finding out what happened? But okay. A move condemned by public figures, including her fellow writers on the show. Yeah, she's obviously just a lifelong scammer. She looks just as crazy as you would assume, too. I don't understand these people, but I want to. Shane H. Wilder said this is giving vibes similar to the movie 100 Years, filmed in 2015 and slated to premiere November 18th, 2115. Is that how we're going to pronounce the years when it comes to that? Starring John Malkovich and music by Pharrell.
Okay.
What is that? What is the plan for that movie?
I don't know. What was this chat in relation to? The K-pop story?
Maybe. It says, okay, 100 Years is an upcoming experimental sci-fi short film written and starring John Malkovich, directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Interesting.
It takes 100 years to create. The film was shot in 2015 and is scheduled for release.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So it's mirroring the aging process of the cognac. It is currently stored in a high-tech bulletproof safe at the Louis XIII cellars in Cognac, France, and will only be released when the safe automatically opens on its premiere date.
See, what I want to see is like these are the types of stories that I think about when you talk about dystopian fiction. So it's like The Walking Dead, the world is over, and you stumble upon the cognac safe.
This is crazy. So their marketing campaign is a conceptual art piece. They have 1,000 metal invitation tickets distributed to guests for the premiere, which are intended to be passed down through the generations. So your grandchildren are going to see this like keychain in, their attic or something and like assume that it's trash, and then nobody's going to see the movie.
Nobody's going to see it.
Ever. You have way too much faith in people if you think that they're going to keep those things safe.
I'm going to pass this down to my children.
Yeah, that's wild. No. Shane H. Wilder said Mary Morgan, the harbinger of death. Yeah, hopefully not. I don't want to put a curse on everybody that I make a joke about. American Metal Mama said, Brett, I need to send you my dog, Poodle Dog Deadpool.
Then what you do is you go on X and you use the hashtag. I know that hashtags are supposedly not working anymore. Hashtag PCC Pets, and you send a picture of the poodle. No videos, please.
Yes. Gordon Shumway said, Mary, you need to say weird when you talk about the Me Too scene in Ratatouille. Well, I would if I were Rachel Zegler, but I don't think it's weird at all. And I think that it was a romantic scene that was perfectly appropriate for me when I was 7 years old. Straight Ribbon 93 said, I like turtles.
I like turtles.
That was early. You usually want to be the last one. Pop culture. I already read that one. Shane H. Wilder said, I looked it up, and while numbers vary, there isn't even $1 quadrillion in the entire world. Yeah,
It's
I was
like,
guessing.
Who was the lady who posted it was like one of those like typical leftist accounts. It's like the solution to poverty is money. And somebody just posted a picture of like, it says like $1 billion and it's just $1 bill that says $1 billion.
This is the same way that people say the solution to homelessness is like building the homeless a bunch of pods to live in.
Yeah.
And then they just trash them.
Well, yeah, like you
make them into drug dens and abandon them.
Like, and again, that one goes to the discussion that people have about, yes, it would be nice if you could give everyone a place to live, but not everybody is in the mental state to handle a responsibility like that. Even their own apartment, even their own, even subsidized, even paid for. Yes. Not everybody is in the right space to take care of themselves in that place. Now that's awful, and the world is never going to be uniformly fair and even for everybody, but it's the fact of the world. It's another thing that separates the left from the right, is like the acceptance that sometimes the world is the way that it is. But there is, when you're young, there is a certain beauty to the idea of that level of idealism. But when that idealism gives way to anger at the world for not, conforming to your view of it, that's not helpful.
Yeah. I think that the number of homeless people that choose that lifestyle voluntarily would surprise the libs. Pop Culture Junkie said, if I were the boyfriend, I'd sue the fake mom into the next dimension. Yeah, I mean, who knows what'll happen next. I hope that kid gets justice somehow. High Voltage 75 said straight to the asylum with her. That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, look, women like this, they used to just get locked up. And we were all better off for it. And like, there were a lot of people saying, oh, she needs help, she needs help. You can say that about some people, but if you are clinically a sociopath, kind of part of the clinical definition of being a sociopath is that you are beyond help. And that you simply were wired that way from birth.
Yeah.
I mean, there's argument about whether you are born or become a sociopath, but part of the clinical definition of it is that there is no treatment plan for these people. They pretty much just have to be sectioned off from the rest of society. And who knows if these numbers are accurate, but the estimation is that like 1 in 25 people is a clinical sociopath. Do you believe that that's true, or is that
seems hard to believe?
A little bit too high of a number for you to believe it?
I mean, that seems high. I mean, these days, who knows?
1 in 25.
You see so many. You see so much insanity online. How much of that is your algorithm feeding it to you? How much of it is some kind of like internet psychosis from people wanting to be? I would 100% believe that people have become more narcissistic, self-involved, and devoid of emotion as the internet has gotten more prevalent.
So yeah, sociopathic traits are more common than they used to be.
I would 100% buy that. Yeah.
Sure, and I bet that certain industries certainly attract more sociopaths than others.
Yep. I mean, that's true in a lot of ways. They say of like people who go into specific areas of focus for work. Like, if you want to run a company, you have to be pretty okay with the idea of like putting people out of work or like firing off divisions and stuff like that. Now that's if you're talking about going into working for some Fortune 500 company with a ton of divisions, but imagine you're somebody who just starts your own business and it grows and grows and grows. You have to get increasingly comfortable with making difficult decisions. And that's not always easy.
Well, those are the high functioning ones.
Yes.
The low functioning, low intelligence sociopaths are like pretty much all in prison.
They were going to make so season 4 of the show The Following was supposed to explore this, which is like, it was a show about cults and serial killers, like a cult of serial killers. And then it goes into a different tone.
Wait, but it's like fictional?
It's fictional.
Okay.
And then in season 4, it was basically before the show got canceled, it was supposed to be about like a cult of wealthy serial killers. And they're the ones who don't get caught because they have the money and the connections to, so they're like, do you really believe that psychopathy skips the rich? Do you think it's like a coincidence that the criminals that go to jail, the serial killers that go to jail were always poor and low income? No, the rich have the money and the resources to escape conviction and escape, notice from the government. And then the show got canceled, so we never got to see it. Bummed me out.
That just sounds like an expansion on like American Psycho.
Well, it was back in 2014, so at that time, not new, but still kind of interesting given the fact that it was more like the serial killer in season 1, Joe Carroll, was a college professor who really loved Edgar Allan Poe and was very, could command a classroom and had a lot of charisma and stuff like that. And the show didn't really know where to go after they kind of wrapped up that storyline. Eventually he gets put to death. And they didn't really know where to go from there. They had Michael Ealy in season 3. He did fine. That was like technology based. But it never captured the magic that the show had in season 1. It was, if you go back and rewatch it, hard to believe they got away with that level of like, it wasn't gore, but it was pretty graphic for a network television show, even for the 9 o'clock slot. Like you saw like that in Hannibal. If you ever saw Hannibal with Mads Mikkelsen, were pretty graphic for network television back then.
What were the rules?
You're allowed to show more like after a certain time. I think like the 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Like can show a little bit more, but they showed a decent amount of like gruesome bodies and stuff like that. And the following would be like gruesome stabbings and stuff like that. So it's not like you were seeing body parts cut off, but
yeah. Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett and Mary, what's your Halloween costume gonna be?
Huh.
You have any ideas, Brett?
I'm going to go as white guy in white t-shirt. That's what I'm going to go as this year. Yeah.
I have an idea. I have what I need to make this Halloween costume happen, but I don't think that a lot of people are going to understand it.
And that's always hard when you make a costume that
esoteric.
people don't understand. I'm going to go as the DoorDash girl this year. Just put on a DoorDash hat and curly hair.
But I'll give a hint. My costume idea is based on a real person.
Okay. Jane Goodall.
No.
Goodall. No?
No, not her.
No. It's worth a shot.
But that would be pretty easy because you just need to walk around with like a stuffed animal and a, like a monkey or whatever.
From over on Rumble, was it Huetig says, I always forget how to pronounce your name. I apologize. Hi, Brett and Mary. Catching live for the first time in 2 weeks. I was on a short mission trip helping a church replace a roof and a Christian camp improve their facilities. Glad to be back on PCC. Great work.
Well, thank you for returning and tuning in.
Yeah. And
Hope you had a good time.
And for doing well for others.
Yes.
It's important.
Pop Culture Junkie said, I continue to calculate the velocity of the deterioration of Western culture by locking it to how quickly there will be a made for streaming movies based on stories like The Fake Mom.
Yeah. I guess nowadays the internet just allows you to aggregate that information in those stories faster.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to make a documentary on it in like 72 hours and put it on TMZ.
Probably.
They streamed to Tubi, right? TMZ has like a deal with Tubi.
Do they have a deal with Tubi?
Yeah. Potatoes for Seamus said Brett should dress up as Mocha and Mary should dress up as the Taco Bell dog for PCC. What an epic show that would be. Also, guest star Olivia and Mocha. Potato emoji, spoon emoji. No thanks. I'm not dressing up as a dog. I don't even remember the dog. I remember the Target dog. I never saw the Taco Bell dog.
Oh, you don't remember the little Chihuahua?
No, that was
Taco Bell.
Before my time.
Yeah, It was great. The I always see the videos of the Target dog travels first class.
Do they have a new one? I know the.
I'm assuming
died,
that Spot gets replaced every so often.
Yeah, wonder what kind of life of luxury Spot is living now. Shane H. Wilder said, my psychology minor with a focus on abnormal psychology comes in handy every once in a while. The professor used to work at an asylum. Interesting. I remember before I dropped out of college, I went to one semester of Psych 101, and I was the only person. I'm going to excuse myself for this. I feel like I was the only one paying close attention to the lecture that day, hence why I reacted this way. But he was trying to explain, the professor was explaining symptoms of schizophrenia. And one of them that he brought up was like when they go into like a catatonic state, So oftentimes they will be frozen in a particular position and they can't move. And he tried to like reenact it and like give us an example. So he was like, so maybe like a schizophrenic patient would just do this. And then he just stayed that way while he like continued talking. And I started like I burst out laughing and I couldn't stop and nobody else was laughing. I was like, am I a bad person right now?
You're not a
like,
bad person.
I don't feel
it's okay.
that I don't feel bad for the whatever. I feel like I was the only one paying attention though. The rest of them were just like zoning out.
We are very close to a second crisis party, guys. We are getting there.
American Metal Mama said, I knew someone who faked a pregnancy. She was 40-something and a doctor. She was trying to lock down a much younger man, her fave bartender. Ooh.
My goodness.
That's,
so
that sounds like a TV show.
Baby trap without the baby.
Yeah, how do you make that happen? He's like, we never even hooked up.
He's like, that's not how that works.
No. We have a 20 from Rapscallion. I can believe sociopaths are more common than we think because I've known 2 people that show a lot of signs of sociopathy, one former friend and one parent. Anyway, happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too, and I hope
I'm sorry to hear about those experiences you've had.
You know?
1 in 25 though? I mean, I don't know. It's pretty high. It's just high enough to like it sounds alarming and then you try to forget about it the next day.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Like and try to and then ignore and like, do any of my friends
I bet most sociopaths like aren't that dangerous because they're not smart enough to
well no, like isn't the idea like
you.
most of them it's that they're it's that they don't feel anything, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're violent. They'll lie obsessively. They're not necessarily out to get you, but they're
thrill
out for
seekers, risk takers. They lack empathy. They probably drive recklessly. Like most of them are not Machiavellian
bad guys.
Deceivers,
like the bad thing you want is like when one of those ends up in the in the body of like somebody with a very, very high IQ.
You kind of got to worry more about the very low IQ sociopaths and the very high IQ sociopaths. I'm remembering that really cringe moment where Peter Thiel says that he wants humanity to like die out in the interview. Like I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but now you see like how many people these days are talking about how like the planet needs to reset because we've destroyed the Earth. Therefore, like humanity should stop procreating. Yeah. Like maybe that's not sociopathy, but it's something.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
High Voltage 75 said it's a good thing she didn't decide to have a real baby or we might have had another Casey Anthony situation. Yeah, that is ultimately a silver lining, I suppose. Yep. I think we can all agree that the Casey Anthony thing was worse, especially given that she, is free now and she's apparently... What was her new side hustle that she started? She's like going to be a podcaster or something. Yeah,
I think she started a podcast. Somebody can correct us if I'm wrong. I mean, that's like, of course.
Sure, what the hell? Start a podcast with Monica Lewinsky for all I care. Pete Donovan said, if there was anyone who could stop kids from constantly saying 6-7 in class, it would be Sister Michael from Our Lady Immaculate College. She would not be doing with any of that behavior. If you know, you know. Well, I don't know, but she sounds like a smart lady. Shane H. Wilder said, every time someone brings up the Hannibal TV show and gore, I always think of the Blood Eagle scene. I still can't believe they got away with that.
I just, I saw that and I had to reacquaint myself with it. And I went and looked. So gross.
Thank you, guys.
If you look up Hannibal Blood Eagle scene on Google, all of them are safe search.
Okay, I'm gonna not do that, but can you tell me what it is?
Basically,
so I don't have to.
2 bodies are basically posed like tableaus over the side of a bed on their knees, and then their backs have been cut open and the skin has been pulled up to make it look like wings.
Okay.
And it's gross.
Yeah,
it's gross.
That sounds gross. Yeah. Okay. Exploding Prinny said, I want to see Mary dress up as Ghost Trick Mary for Halloween. Google it. Okay, if you're telling me to Google something, especially after I just got that explanation, I'm not Googling it. So you're going to have to tell me what it is. Genghis Khan of Gongolia said, happy Friday. Can't let you go into the weekend without 2 crisis parties. Well, thank you. We won't. We're safe from that now.
Oh, yeah, that's That was gross. Looking at that picture again. Luckily, I mean, the thing about Hannibal, the reason it was so good, it was Brian Fuller, right? The reason that what was so good about it is like it was very, very disgusting, violent imagery, but it's done in such a deeply artistic and beautiful way that the art and the gore kind of mesh to make this very interesting visual dichotomy. That like you're looking at something disgusting, but at the same time you're transfixed, not in a horrified way, but almost like in a maze. Like if you could be amazed and horrified at the same time. I'm looking at it more and I'm thinking about the amazing work of the prosthetics that had to be done to make it look realistic for all of that stuff. But it's like, it's a lot of like beautifully disgusting imagery in that show.
Brett, I don't know. You sound more media literate than me, because I would not say anything like that.
Well, it's like imagine you see some gross imagery, right? Like it's a body in the back has been cut open and the skin has been detached, but what you're seeing is like a camera. First of all, it's lit beautifully. It's color graded beautifully. It's the shot is rolled on a slow moving dolly. It's framed perfectly over orchestral music. There is beauty in its presentation, but disgusting imagery in what's actually there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, they do the same thing with all of the food that you're watching Hannibal make, knowing that what you're watching him make is human beings into food.
Okay, I'm just never gonna watch this. Okay. This is just like so not my thing.
I mean, if I'm being honest, it's not my thing either. Like, I like the show, but it was a little bit too up its own ass for my own.
Up its own ass, like it took itself too seriously.
It does. It takes itself very seriously, but it's too art for me.
I hate that. Like when something can be described as like, it's just like art slop. That's what it is.
But this, look, yeah, I guess the idea here is like it's a television show on network television. So how, like, getting that level of art out of a network show in general is pretty impressive. But, you know, I watched this very interesting video. You guys may want to watch this once you're done with the show here. If you've seen Hannibal or if you haven't seen it but don't intend to watch it, there's a channel called, I think it's called Macabre Storytelling, I think. And they did a great like 2.5 hour breakdown of Hannibal, but it goes into depth of all the Hannibal Lecter, all the movies that involve Hannibal Lecter, not just Silence of the Lambs, and then gets into the television show, everything to do with Brian Fuller and the production. It's really, really good. So.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Sorry about that. The scene scarred me when I saw it on TV. I just don't know how they got away with it on network TV."
That was the large consensus at that time, is there was just a lot of stuff that you saw there that you're like, how did they pull that off?
Pop Culture Junkie said, Taco Bell lore. Back when Taco Bell's had a plastic bell in a bell tower, a friend who lived behind one would get his friends drunk and steal the bell at 2 a.m. He ended up with 7 of them. That's crazy. That must have been like way back in the day, because eventually wouldn't they have the security camera pulled up?
You would think so.
7.
Yep.
Well, I've never seen such a thing at a Taco Bell.
Yep. All right, guys, before we go, I just do want to remind you again that on this weekend, if you are listening to the audio version of this podcast, on Saturday, there will be what is called the PCC Weekend Update. It is a collection of the segments that I filmed throughout the week that were not done live during the show. So if you want to check that out, Saturday at 5 p.m., it will be available on all audio platforms like Spotify and Amazon Music. I would love it if you guys went and checked that out. So thank you guys so much for that. Mary.
And of course, I have my own shilling to do, too. You should go to castbrew.com, grab yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend. It's my s'mores-flavored cast brew flavor. Has the official stamp of approval from George Santos, if that carries any weight to you. Yeah, get it for autumn. It's a perfect, like, drink to have when you're sitting around the campfire in the cold. It's nice and cozy. And by the way, there are some people claiming that I have not tried it. You can see
the bag is open.
The bag has been opened, and there's
less in there.
There is space here. I'm showing you the proof. I have, in fact, tried it multiple times now, and I do endorse it. Anyways, guys, you can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived.
All right. If you guys want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than watch this show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It's another great way to help out the channel. We are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Literally after yesterday, I was sitting here with the yips wondering if I was going to remember what the socials were. I have to do the whole outro all at one time or my mind goes blank and I'm like, which one is _show? Which one is this one? There it is, guys. That's the magic of doing a podcast. You just got to do it in the same order each and every day. So we got, I think, one more there.
Pop Culture Junkie said Taco Bell's originally used to look like a Spanish mission.
There are still a couple of them that look like unique-looking Taco Bells.
Yeah, they've kind of stripped down to do that corporate minimalist thing like everybody else, sadly.
Because all fast food restaurants, they're basically...
They're woke!
They're just real estate companies. They're so woke. All right, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with another episode on Monday. We will see one more.
One more from American Metal Mama. Mary, you should do a fake coffee bag around you.
Like for... like
what does that mean?
I don't know. Why wasn't it called Ghost Roast? I saw somebody else say that in the chat. They mentioned Ghost Roast. Why wasn't it Mary's Ghost Roast?
Euphemisms.
Oh, fair enough.
That kind of knocked a lot of options off the table once we started getting into the options we had. We had to just kind of cross out everything.
It's not easy being a woman on the internet.
It's not.
All right. No. With that being said, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with another episode on Monday. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.